随着2026年 NBA 自由市场进入关键阶段，超级巨星勒布朗·詹姆斯生涯最后一次自由球员抉择引发全美狂热讨论。日前，迈阿密热火对 YouTube 频道意外上架詹姆斯加盟新闻发布会直播连结。名嘴史密斯与温德霍斯特随即揭露这场乌龙背后的真相，并爆料詹皇目标打满25个赛季，正深入评估勇士、热火、76人与灰狼等5大潜在下家。与此同时，后詹姆斯时代的湖人队正围绕东契奇积极签下凯斯勒，并暗中追逐库明加，而追梦格林放弃2770万合约助力勇士，招募詹皇的幕后细节也正式曝光。究竟这场震撼联盟的詹皇争夺战将如何落幕？接下来，我们就透过中文字幕来收看这段精彩内容。
It says a lot more about us as sports consumers and content creators than it does about the Heat, because we're in this point right now where there's this dearth of information on the sports calendar, and there's this really kind of an irresponsible frothing at the mouth on this LeBron stuff. First off, I'll give a free piece of consulting to all the teams who think they're going to sign LeBron. There's not going to be an introductory press conference. You don't got to get it ready. After not 5, not 6, not 7, LeBron's done with introductory press conferences. He didn't do one when he came back to Cleveland. He didn't do one when he came to Los Angeles. And if he does one, it's going to be on his platforms. It's not going to be an open thing that you're going to have. So you don't got to worry about creating stuff like that. And I promise you, I swear to all the people out there, I know that there's this unquenchable desire to know. I know that the league is somewhat frozen right now. I know that there's an assumption about things. Stephen A., I am talking to players and the teams involved. I'm talking to owners. I'm talking to everybody in the league all day long. Nobody knows.
So am I.
I know it's an unsatisfactory answer, and I'm not saying that somebody might not say something that ends up being partially based in some source that ends up being right, but I'm telling you, nobody knows. LeBron is going through his own process this time. It's possible he's made a decision, Courtney, in the last 10 minutes, and people actually know right now, and they can say, I knew beforehand, but I am telling you, I swear, I promise you, this is not based on what Adam Silver said in an interview. It's not based on anything. He hasn't made up his mind, and nobody knows but him what he's doing. It's unsatisfying, and it's true.
All right. Wendy is 1,000% correct. Not to remind everybody, but I am the one that broke the story about him taking his talents to South Beach back in 2010. I'm hearing the same thing. Everybody says he doesn't know. He doesn't know. But here's the important thing to point out. LeBron has earned the right to take his time and make the decision. Do I suspect he knows? Sure. But the point is that if he says he doesn't know, there's no reason to not believe him at this particular moment in time. And here's the reason why. There's some intriguing opportunities out there. Minnesota is supposedly not in his top 3. Minnesota has Ant-Man. Ant-Man with LeBron James, that ain't something bad to watch. You know, when you look at the Philadelphia 76ers, that's Jaylen Brown there now with Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe with a Joel Embiid that you're praying he's at least 50% ready come playoff time. LeBron James in Philadelphia, that's a damn good situation. Golden State, well, the babyface assassin, the greatest shooter God has ever created, still looking like a superstar, is there for LeBron James. You talk about 20 points dipping from 27, 26, 25 points to 20 points a game last season. How much you want to make a bet his assist total will go up significantly if he were in Golden State throwing the basketball at that brother. How about that? That's an option. Oh, by the way, do you understand, Courtney and Wendy, that LeBron James after practice or after a game could hop on a jet and be back in LA in 45 minutes? Ladies and gentlemen, do you understand that I'm from Queens, New York? And I spent the vast majority of my young life taking an hour and a half traveling on New York Transit to get to work or to get to school. You understand? When I went to Thomas Edison High School in Queens, New York, it took me an hour and 15 minutes every morning to get to school. When I went to college, it took me, and I worked in the city, it took an hour and a half to get to the city, the bus to the E or the F train. Okay, 45 minutes is nothing. In LA traffic, sometimes it'll take you 45 minutes just to get from Brentwood to the facility. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. 45 minutes ain't nothing. So for him to be in Golden State, you near your family. Or he could go back to South Beach with Giannis as his teammate, with a familiar territory and a Hall of Fame coach in Eric Spoelstra and a Hall of Fame executive in Pat Riley. Or he could go home. These are big-time options. It's not an easy decision. He's got to make sure that wherever he goes, he's going to be happy for the next couple of years, because I believe he wants to play a full 25 years in the NBA, 25 seasons. He wants to play.
I believe you're right
century.
too.
I think
Yep,
that's his
I
target.
believe that's right.
And then he's going to walk away, right?
Agree.
So the next 2 years of his life, this is likely his last move. He wants to make sure. Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing wrong with it. He's got a bevy of options, but most importantly, it's a bevy of good options. He has to make sure he does.
And Anthony Slater in studio. Dave, you reported last month the Lakers have been telling Luka, just wait till summer 2026. Yeah. Did they deliver on that?
Yeah, they did. According to a source familiar with Luka Doncic, thinking after the moves that they made, he's, quote, excited about them. Now, obviously, it starts off with Walker Kessler, and they paid a pretty penny to get him from Utah to do this sign and trade scenario. A bunch of future draft assets and also, an average salary of about $32 million a year. But they feel like he's going to be able to help them big time offensively as a guy who dives off the pick and roll, a vertical spacer, catching lobs, and then defensively, he is one of the better rim protectors in the league when he's been on the court. So that's a major piece, and I think they got guys like Sandro Mamukelashvili and Cameron Carr and Zaire Williams and also Quentin Grimes, all like rising players. They feel like they got younger and they have a group that can grow with Austin and Luka.
They're still after at least one more. I can tell you that they keep calling Jonathan Kuminga. And again, obviously they have not made a lucrative enough offer for Kuminga to jump. But part of their pitch has been, hey, you can come start here potentially. And that says two things to me. Number one, it says the Lakers still don't want to be done making moves, right? And they believe they're a little weak on the wing position, which, I think Thibault will help. I think, Zaire Williams will help. But, they could use some more juice on the wing. And maybe they get Kuminga done, maybe they don't. I think the LeBron domino affects Kuminga and what he may or may not be able to get. But, again, all I can tell you is Rob Pelinka keeps calling about Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, Dave, are the post-LeBron Lakers done building out their roster? You know this team better than anybody.
Well, there's 16 players on the team. So just by virtue of that information, that they aren't done. They're going to, between now and the start of the regular season, they could carry 16, they could carry up to 20 through the training camp. But through now the start of the regular season, you got to get rid of a player. Whether that's going to be continuing to try to move some like Jared Vanderbilt or Dalton Connect that they've not had success with thus far, and they've quite frankly tried for a while here, or could it be someone like Jaden Hardy, who was picked up in the DeAndre Ayton deal, that was really more about trying to get some draft assets from Washington and move off of Ayton to make room for your new centers with Kevon Looney and Walker Kessler than it was about necessarily Hardy. That's one thing that absolutely has to happen, so that means their work's not done.
Yeah, all right, there are still plenty of big names available in free agency, including this guy, LeBron James. You got the Beard, James Harden, and Draymond Green. There are also some notable restricted free agents left. You got Jalen Duren and Peyton Watson, but a lot of this hinges on a 41-year-old's decision. LeBron has been seen with Draymond Green on several occasions this summer. Anthony, is there any way at all Draymond would ever leave the Warriors to join LeBron on another team? Those two are very tight.
You see the number on that graphic, $27.7 million. Draymond Green gave that back under, the assumption that if it comes down to it, he can get somewhere near that back from the Warriors. It was to give flexibility to go try to chase LeBron. If they were to get LeBron, that could get him maybe a multi-year deal at a lower number, but still financial security. To answer your question, there's been some speculation, hey, maybe he could follow LeBron to another place. LeBron's having trouble getting more than the minimum out there. So Draymond Green, if he were to follow LeBron, would have to take the minimum. And I mentioned that number, $27.7 million, because that's a lot more than $3.9 million. And I know Draymond Green. He likes $27.7 million a lot more than $3.9.
Well, the Warriors roster, it's pretty empty after this upcoming season. So what?
这次围绕勒布朗·詹姆斯自由市场 （free agent） 去向的热议，再次展现了他对整个 NBA 联盟格局的巨大影响力。 迈阿密热火队的直播乌龙虽然只是一次预案失误，但史密斯提到的5大选项确实耐人寻味，特别是金州勇士对斯蒂芬·库里无解的3分球。3. Point 威胁能为詹姆斯创造极佳的传球空间，而且旧金山距离洛杉矶仅45分钟飞机车程，极具家庭吸引力。再加上追梦格林自愿放弃$2770万合约来为球队营造薪资灵活性，可见勇士为了组建这对传奇双核所付出的巨大努力。另一方面，后詹姆斯时代的洛杉矶湖人队也在迅速转型，引进身高7尺2的护框中锋凯斯勒 Walker Kessler， 能完美配合卢卡东契奇的挡拆进攻。而总经理佩林卡持续致电询问库明加 Jonathan Kuminga， 更显示出湖人想要进一步补充侧翼运动能力的野心。对于即将迈入第24甚至第25个赛季的詹姆斯而言，即便他不再频繁展现年轻时的变相运球 crossover 或轻松拿下大3元 triple double， 但他丰富的季后赛 playoffs 经验与顶级关键球 clutch shot 处理能力，依然是任何争冠球队梦寐以求的最后拼图。各位球迷朋友，你们认为詹姆斯最终会选择与库里联手，重返迈阿密热火，还是留在西区？欢迎在下方评论区留言分享你的看法，我们一起讨论。感谢大家收看本期影片，你最期待詹姆斯下赛季穿上哪一队的球衣？欢迎留言告诉我们，别忘了点赞、订阅频道并开启小铃铛，我们下期再见。